This is Dr. Joel Gould, and we're here with Leah today. Today we're talking about our miserable millennials, and this is one of my transformation stories videos. So I'd like to introduce Leah. How's it going?
Hi.
So I'd like you to just tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us.
So my name's Leah. I'm 24, newly 24, and
Very good.
and I'm in the IT world doing project management. So I sit at a computer all day, every day.
You do? Okay.
I do.
All right, excellent. And I want to talk. I want to talk to you about where'd you grow up?
I grew up right here in Manhattan Beach, California.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. When you were a kid, did you go to the beach a lot?
I would say during the summer I went a lot, but not during the year.
Didn't? Okay.
But,
And then, when you went to the beach, did you guys wear sunscreen? Was that something
yes,
you did?
I always wore sunscreen.
You were, and so
religiously.
you were taught that was important,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay, you were like what? Not you have to say what brand, but was it a spray kind or was it?
I think it just depended on what we had at the time. So sometimes it'd be spray. Sometimes.
But you took care of yourself. You didn't want to get cancer, right? So you protected yourself.
From a young age, I was really afraid of getting skin cancer.
You were.
So.
Okay. So then, tell us about your health, because I know that when I met you, you were referred to me by one of the doctors I work with, he's more of a naturopathic doctor. Tell us about, when you were, did you have any issues when you were a kid growing up? Did you have any health issues?
So, no, I think, I had a little bit of anxiety, but I'd say, I don't know, I think a lot of people have a little bit of anxiety.
Sure.
It never really affected my life so much, and I slept fine.
Right, so do you remember, when you say anxiety, would you just be was there any one particular thing? Was it afraid to go and cry?
Oh, yeah, so I had a phobia of throwing up.
Interesting.
So that kind of kept me from, like road trips. I was afraid we'd get on a windy road. Flying on a small plane freaked me out.
Really? Okay,
yeah.
So yeah, was it vertigo or just nausea?
Nausea.
Okay.
Boats, never gonna happen.
Okay, interesting. Okay, and then you slept well most of your life.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So then
Despite all that.
Right. So tell us about your teenage years. Did you have any health issues? In high school.
Yeah. No, I actually had a pretty normal life, I would say.
Okay.
I think I did spend a lot of time indoors.
You did.
I was a homebody.
Okay.
For sure.
Is it just because you didn't do a lot sports wise, or just?
Yeah, I played basketball, but that was an indoor sport too. So it's if I wasn't playing basketball, it's just kind of relaxing.
Sure.
At home.
At home. Okay.
Watching TV.
Okay, not spending a lot of time outside.
Correct.
Okay. And then so when did your health start to change? What happened?
Oh, my junior year of college, it went way downhill.
What happened? So did you go away to school?
Yeah, so I went to school at the University of Arizona.
Okay.
Sunshine.
No, wait, it's sunny there.
Sunshine,
All right.
I know. And
Okay.
I did I spent a lot of time outside walking. Well, I guess it was just walking to class.
Sure.
So more outside than high school.
Okay.
But I think I started going through some emotional traumas.
Well, okay, so this is really important. I want you to explain that. When I told you to prepare, because I just wanted you to tell your story. I want to hear what happened to you, because people who are watching this have most likely gone through the same experience.
Yeah.
When people, my information is going to be really out there of what happened to me, of how I never had an issue with anxiety in my life, and one day I woke up and I just thought, oh my God, I've never felt like this before. I started having this terrible anxiety, like everything in my life was just totally imploding. I never felt that way before.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of an old-fashioned nervous breakdown, like an old Hollywood movie, okay?
Yeah.
So you went away to school, and that could be stressful on its own, but then what happened? So, and again, and listen, we know that in college you're going to go do some drinking, you're going to, go have, hang out, but what happened?
I was having some friendship issues.
You were?
College is all about, finding your place, finding your people, and I was living in a sorority house.
Okay.
So I was really close to, a lot of girls at the same time, and some of my best friends, so, when something goes wrong, it affected me a lot.
Sure.
And I think that started affecting my sleep, because all I was thinking about.
So you were really having these social issues. So you were having different. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
it had nothing to do with school.
Okay. So you did. So school was going okay.
Yeah,
You had no family problems at home. So basically, you're at a sorority house, and the daily dramas of the sorority house was keeping you up at night.
Yeah.
Your mind was racing. Okay.
Yeah.
And what were you thinking? You're thinking, gee, this college thing is pretty crazy.
Well, that I'm also just going through I don't know, a disagreement I had with my best friend, and then we were both torn apart because of this one little fight, because we never fought, And then it just started happening more and more, and I started getting like more emotional the more it started happening.
Okay, so when now we're going to bring in the concept of miserable millennials. So
Yeah.
you consider yourself a millennial, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And I mean, so you had everything going for you, and here you are, and I'm supposed to be having this great experience, and you're like, okay, that's awful.
Yeah.
That's why I came up with these different ideas, because, you know, that's weird behavior, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so now, did you think that there was something wrong with you? Did you realize, you were just like,
In the beginning, I just thought I was waking up a bunch, and I had no idea why. I just kind of went along with the plan. I was like, okay, if this is what's happening, it's what's happening. It'll
Okay.
probably get better.
Okay.
And it just did not get better.
Okay, so then you had insomnia. So
Yeah.
let's no. Did you have any other symptoms, like some of the traditional stuff that comes along with the miserable millennials? Bruxism, clenching and grinding of your teeth.
Oh.
And so you were grinding
Yeah.
your teeth. Okay, were you clenching during the day or nighttime or both?
I think a lot during the day.
Okay, and you thought it was being caused by your stress,
Yes.
right? Because that's what everyone thinks. Bruxism is caused by stress. Well, okay, all right. And then were you getting headaches or what else?
Yeah,
was
so
going
it
on?
started out with just waking up like 5 times a night, I would say.
5 times, okay.
Yeah.
And having a hard time falling back asleep.
Sometimes. In the beginning, it was hard to fall asleep, but then the more tired I got, my body would wake up, but then would go right back to sleep because I was so tired. But then when I was fully awake, I was exhausted, which was so confusing because I went right back to sleep. Why am I still tired? And then I started getting these headaches every single day. And at first, Advil would take care of it, but I don't want to keep popping Advil. And then even Advil stopped working. I think I literally had a really bad headache, I think every day of my senior year. And I couldn't even do things with my friends sometimes.
Right. Did you go to a doctor and say, hey,
Not in
you
Arizona. No.
Okay, so you just were like, I'm stressed. I'm in this stressful situation. And
Yeah.
I feel and I'm
I
not sleeping right.
did go to a therapist that was on campus in case it was anxiety.
Sure.
Which it might
Sure.
have been. But
Sure.
it didn't really do anything at that point.
Okay, and so basically you went to see a therapist, and they're trying to figure out what is this wrong with this girl?
Yeah.
What trauma is stressing her?
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no reason. I just okay.
It's just some friend issues.
Okay. Now, how were you? What were you eating? Were you following a diet, or did you have any digestive issues or anything like that?
Yeah, so I always try to eat on the healthier side.
Okay.
Obviously, in college, you're not always going to eat
Sure.
super healthy.
Sure.
And we had living in a sorority house, we had a chef, and he didn't always make the best food.
Okay.
Just I wasn't going to go and spend money on other
Sure,
food.
of
That
course.
was what I spent.
Sure.
But, yeah. Exercise, it was mainly just walking
okay.
to and from class.
But were you for food? Did you have any issues or digestive issues or not really? Because usually syndrome is bruxism,
I actually
insomnia,
had a lot
IBS.
of digestive issues.
Yeah, it's usually IBS. It's basically either constipated or get the runs, basically.
Yeah, so I actually saw a doctor because my stomach was hurting me so much.
Okay.
And they gave me medicine for IBS.
They did, okay. And do you remember what
Yeah.
that medicine was?
I just remember it was this little
Little blue pill, right?
Yeah.
Probably Imodium.
Probably.
Yeah, okay. So that's the classic. So when you go to the doctor and you have a digestive issue, they're going to give you some medication because they don't know what's wrong. Okay.
Yep.
So you finished college.
Yep, and then I moved to Nashville.
Okay, that's
Because I had
cool.
some adventure in me. And
Sure.
The company I really wanted hired me in Nashville. So okay, I like country music.
Sure, awesome.
Fresh out of college, let's do it. And that's when my health actually got way worse.
Okay, so then what started to happen there? So
I was actually living my best life. I was happy as can be.
Sure, it's exciting. Finished college and you're away for the first time. Okay.
And I was living, even though I had no friends in Nashville at the time, I had my college friends on the East Coast, so on weekends I could go and visit them. So yeah, and work wasn't stressful at the time.
Right, but
so my sleep got worse.
Okay, at this point in time, did you think there was something physically wrong with you?
Yeah,
because you weren't
so now
sleeping?
I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, okay, this is not natural. I think I would suffer through it to get through my work week, and then the weekends would come, and I literally couldn't leave my apartment.
So you just lay in bed and
Yeah,
try
no,
to
I
sleep.
stayed in bed. I didn't even have much of an appetite.
Okay.
I was very miserable.
And then were you thinking that maybe I should go to a doctor, maybe a sleep doctor or something?
Well, first I thought I should just start with a normal doctor.
Sure.
And just see what
Okay.
they had to say, just as
Okay.
a starting point.
Okay, and what did they have to say? They did
So-
some blood testing?
No. No, I
Okay.
literally just went in and talked like this, kind of.
Okay.
And
What did he tell you? He wanted to put you on depression medication.
well, yeah, so because, like how I mentioned, I had anxiety growing up, he took that and ran with it.
Yeah.
Even though I told him I was living my best life and I have no
Right.
anxiety, he gave me Lexapro and like the max dose too.
Yeah.
So now I'm on this like strong medicine,
Yeah.
and it's literally
What did-
didn't do anything.
Yeah, so it didn't really do anything for you.
Nothing.
So, okay.
I was still very miserable.
Okay, did you go back to him and say, hey, buddy, this is like maybe not doing this? Or you thought, well, he's a doctor and this is the medication. And
Yeah,
this is
no,
what
I
I'm supposed to
thought
do."
like it was gonna get better.
Okay.
But then I got a great opportunity back here at home. So I came back home, and then my mom suggested naturopathic.
Right.
So I tried
okay.
that.
Okay, so when you got back here, did you move back home?
Yes.
And you were
with
like,
my-
Mom, I like miss you. I'm so happy to be home
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm sick. Okay.
Yeah, I was just yeah.
Okay, and so did you guys did you get a referral to go to a
Yeah,
naturopath?
so my
or-
mom went to a naturopathic doctor, so then I looked
Sure.
it up, and I went to Dr. Danielle Gran.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And props to Dr. Daniel Grand. Great,
Yeah, no,
great
she's really
functional
awesome.
medicine doctor.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And the first thing she did was order a blood test.
And what did she test you for?
All the vitamins.
Okay.
Even I got some allergy tests in
Okay.
there.
And then so was this the first time someone had tested your vitamin D level?
Yeah, no, the first time I basically had a blood test to take a closer look.
Okay.
Like I was mind blown. It's like why had no one else?
Why? No doctor looked at this,
Yes.
right? Okay, and you went to a lot of doctors.
No one's ever given me a blood test unless they were trying to find out if I was ill.
Right. Well, but so do you not consider that you were ill, that things weren't right? Like it's kind of
Well,
ridiculous, huh?
I think it was just automatic for her to like
Yeah.
order a blood test and
Yeah.
get in and see what's going on, like
Right.
find the source of the issue.
Well, so the other doctors were like, so this is your fault because you
Yeah,
have
they're
some
like,
mental
you
issues
have
going on.
anxiety. Here's some Lexapro.
Right, and that's just classic. So
Yeah.
so many, and just so many people are on that medication just for those reasons. Okay, so
No, that's what he said. He prescribes it to everyone.
right there you go. Okay.
I'm like, okay.
All right. Now, by the time I saw you, you had black marks under your
Yeah.
eyes, and then so Dr. Grant, she said, maybe we should look at. So did you go in there with a primary complaint of your sleep? Was that
Yeah,
really?
that was the reason I went in.
Okay.
And she was like, well, you might have sleep apnea, so I'm going to refer you to a sleep doctor, which was you.
Right.
And
Okay.
then also look at my blood test.
So when she said sleep apnea, what were you thinking?
I was like, no way.
Right? Well, 'cause
At the time, I was 23.
Right. Well, and you're not
And I was-
obese,
No,
right?
and I'm like,
And so what did you think? So you thought, well, why does she think I have this disease? What were your thoughts? Who would have sleep apnea? Who are the people?
What? Like, naturally, well, you have sleep problems. Like, of course, she's going to assume I have sleep apnea, but I really didn't think I'd have sleep
Right.
apnea.
Well, did you choke in your sleep? Do you snore?
No, and I'm a mouth breather.
Okay.
So I was like, well, I always thought it was through here.
Sure. Okay.
Just-
And then, so did it make any sense? Like, she's like, you might have sleep. What are the other options besides sleep apnea? And
Yeah, that's what she wanted to start with, sleep apnea. Just
But you
and my
think
blood test and then see.
Right.
But and see where we went from there.
Okay. So now you, of course, you came to me and you're thinking, great, some dentist is now like looking at sleep, and then we did a sleep study.
Yeah.
And so what did you think of that? How was that experience? Tell us about what that experience was like, because.
Well, the home test was really nice.
So right, so most people think that you go into a lab and then
Yeah.
someone's watching you sleep, right? So
That's what my mom did, and she would like come home and her hair was all oily. And I'm like, well, I want to prevent that if I can.
right, okay. So we sent you home with a home sleep study.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we sent that to a medical sleep specialist who looked at it. And the reason I think that's really important for people to understand is that if you go to a sleep lab, you're going to come home with a CPAP, and just I don't want to be giving too much away here, but you have sleep apnea,
Yes.
and you have it pretty bad. You had it
Yeah.
probably as bad as I did.
Yeah.
And I was diagnosed at age 48. So when I told you, oh yeah, you've got apnea, it's pretty bad, were you just thinking like, I'm 23?
Yeah,
and
and that's exactly what I was thinking.
like, why would I have this, right?
Yeah, and then to have it really poorly, it just made no sense to me.
Made no sense. Okay, and then so this is important too, just because, when I told you it was vitamin D, were you thinking like, whatever? Like, what were you thinking when I
Well,
when we started-
so the blood test that I took showed that I
What was your level? Do you remember?
I was at a 17, but the range is, I think, is 35 to 100.
Well, the range is technically, depending on which doctor you go to, 20 to 100.
Okay.
So you're deficient by all standards. Anything below
Yes.
20. And the way I sort of like to explain this to people is that what vitamin D is in your body, it's like a fuel source, okay? So, you know, when you have your phone and it reaches that 20% power and it says like, hey, you better recharge me, or it's going to go into power saving mode, you're now down below 20 nanograms per milliliter, which is really in power saving mode. So basically, okay.
And I could feel it.
Yeah. So what did you feel like? So you know, give us just your top symptoms of what you at this point in time. So here you are. You're just now. You're getting these blood tests. They tell you. You know, had you heard of vitamin D before? As it was anything?
No. So wait. So my symptoms were like during the day. It was a headache, but not my typical headache. It was, I don't know, it was up here. It felt like pressure, not really pain.
Okay.
And then no appetite.
Yeah.
And I could not stop yawning. Like, even back in college, if I did go out with my friends, I would literally yawn every 5 minutes. Maybe even 2 minutes. Like, I'm not exaggerating.
No.
And
so,
yeah, my whole body was just, I could feel like just being, I felt like a ghost. Like I was barely surviving.
Yeah. Well, I want you to understand that what you just said is so powerful, because people who are going to be watching this, that's what they feel like. They've been to the doctor. I had been to every doctor in 2 different countries. No one ever tested my vitamin D level. No. I mean, this isn't on anyone's radar because vitamin D was mislabeled a vitamin. It's a hormone.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a lot of misinformation.
I just love vitamin D milk.
Milk, right?
Yeah.
You drink milk or, okay. So now we start raising your vitamin D level.
Yes. That made, even that in itself, I could actually function without having a headache for the first time in 2-3 years.
So just by taking
vitamin D.
Okay.
Which I really didn't even think was going to happen.
Right.
I was
listen.
This little thing,
This
pill.
And that's it. And so what do you think, how long do you think it took you before you started to feel the change? And how much were you taking? I want people to know you take a massive dose of how much?
I was taking 10,000 in the beginning.
What? Oh my God, that's toxic, right? No, okay.
And when I saw you, I was taking 15.
Good, right? Okay, go on.
Yeah, but it took about, I feel like it was kind of quick actually. Like I think after 2 weeks, 2 weeks to a month, I started. Yeah, I could.
That's most of my patients and myself as well. Within about 2 weeks of taking that higher dose.
Yeah.
And I want people to understand that taking 15 or 20,000 IU sounds like this massive dose, but it's 0.5 milligrams, and you don't want to take 20,000 IU indefinitely because your vitamin D, I explained to you, is like a tank, and you want to fill it up and then keep it full. Yeah. Now, how much vitamin D do you take now daily?
Vitamin D now?
Yeah.
I take 10,000 one day, and then 5,000, and then 10,000.
Okay. So does that change how you feel on a daily basis? One day you take 5,000, 10,000 the next day, or no?
I think at this point, because my levels are back to where they probably should be, but I don't notice a difference anymore.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, and that's what I want to explain is that the reason that you're alternating your dose is because taking 10,000 every day would be too much. Right. You're going to go too high.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so then when you were here, before we started working with you, you were here, we did a pre-interview, and you left your bag. That was
I remember that.
You're like, oh my God, you were in 12 days.
I was not doing hot then.
Yeah. It's too bad. I really wanted you on camera just because you look terrible. Nothing personal.
No, I did.
Yeah, but okay. So then, so you started on the vitamin D, and then we did a couple of things. So we got a ring. And what did you think about monitoring your sleep? How did you feel about that?
It's nice because before I was just kind of relying on my Apple Watch to be like, this is the amount of restful sleep you have. And that kind of stressed me out because it was not a real way to measure my sleep.
Right, because you're like, I don't think this way, I don't feel that rested, right?
It didn't, So then the ring, it just tells you so much more information.
Right.
And I could just, go to sleep without having to worry about monitoring, remembering how I slept every day.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, because I wanted you to start to monitor your sleep, because then we started talking about some different dosing of vitamins, okay? Which is interesting. Yep. There you go, B vitamins, okay. And then so we, eventually we said, okay, well, we think that maybe we needed an oral device for you. Yeah. So what was that experience like?
I was actually kind of excited because at that point I was willing to do anything to fix the problem.
Okay, so the vitamin D itself didn't fix your sleep?
No.
Okay, but you felt better.
Yeah, I could function.
Okay.
But I was still
All right.
not doing well.
And that's another thing I want to explain to people is that when, with my book and with my information, people are like, well, I'll just take vitamin D and my sleep apnea would be gone. And what people need to understand is that if you have apnea past a certain point, you need to wear an oral device. Now, the good news is that I don't think that you're going to have to wear that oral device forever.
Yeah.
And that's what I see with my patients, because we want to splint the airway open to stop you from choking in your sleep.
Yeah.
And then over time, your body can heal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. It needs more oxygen. That's for
Right.
Sure.
Okay. And then so tell me, how do we make that device for you? Do we do impressions? Do we?
Oh my god, this was the greatest thing in my life. So I was going in thinking we were gonna do the mold.
Right.
Which I hate because I have a small mouth.
Well, now we know you have a phobia of throwing up. Too,
That
right?
too. Yeah,
Right.
no, and I had to get molds for my retainers, and like, oh my god, no. I'm that person that would gag. Like, I hated it.
Right.
And
Okay.
I couldn't even breathe through my nose.
Right.
So I was forced to breathe where the mold. Oh my god, it was awful.
Okay.
But I did not have to do that here.
Right. We used a laser and scanned you.
Yeah, it was
as
just a stick. And that was great.
Okay, cool.
And then I got to see the picture of my mouth just right on your computer. I was like, whoa, that's literally all
That's
the
it.
details are there and everything.
Very cool. Okay.
So that was a great experience.
Okay. Awesome. And then the day that we gave you that device, you're thinking, all right. And so just tell us a little bit more. So how did you feel like? So you had that thing. You took it home that first night. You're like, all right, I'm gonna put this in, or what were you thinking?
I was actually kind of excited.
That's awesome.
Because I was desperate at this point. Like anything.
Okay.
And yeah, I thought it'd be weird to have my jaw forward.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it was really, it's still like not moved up that much.
Right.
So it's not a big deal in my mind.
Okay. So now you wear this. So tell us, like, what's your routine? And you basically go home when you're ready for bed. You get ready for bed. And then
Yeah. So I hang out at the couch watching TV with my blue blockers.
Blue blockers. Very good. I didn't even have to tell you that. Excellent. So you're blocking your blue light. Excellent.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay.
And then when it's bedtime, I go brush my teeth and take my vitamin B.
Very good. Okay. You take B vitamin before bed? That's shocking. What did you discover with the B vitamin?
Oh yeah, using the ring I was able to monitor. And before B, my oxygen was way under, like all night. And then
Right.
it slowly started evening out a little more.
Okay, very cool. So the vitamins affect your sleep.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's crazy. Okay, cool. And then in the morning when you wake up, what do you do?
The first thing I do is check my sleep.
Right, I know that's it. For anyone watching this, for sure.
Mouthpiece wise,
Yeah.
I take it out immediately.
Yep.
The second I know I'm going to be awake for
Right.
a while, I'm
Yeah.
not going to fall back asleep. And
Yeah.
then I stick the jaw realigner.
The repositioner back
Yeah.
in. Cool. Okay. And then how's your jaw? Any jaw pain or any issues?
Nope.
Okay. So how long after wearing the oral device did you start to feel better?
Oh. Pretty soon. Yeah.
Yeah, like a couple of days, a week,
Yeah,
2 weeks, something like that.
I would say a week.
Okay. Okay.
Because you still have to get used to that
Sure.
new thing being in your mouth.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then how do you feel now?
Yeah, I feel pretty great.
Okay.
Much better.
All right. Do you still get headaches?
If I do, it's purely because of stress from work.
Okay.
Because work is now very stressful.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing you're sleeping, right? Okay.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine how
Okay.
I'd be otherwise.
So then, what about your friends or parents? Did you say, "Oh, hey guys, I have sleep apnea. I have this disease of older obese people, and I'm a petite 23-year-old"? Like, what was everyone thinking? Like, whatever.
Actually, well, yeah. I'm trying to think back. So my mom was very surprised.
Mm-hmm.
But then she's like, well, your dad probably has it then. He just doesn't know because he snores.
Yeah.
Well, not only does he snore, he just...
We have sleep apnea. No, there's no...
he's very irritable all the time.
So he has angry man syndrome,
Yeah,
basically.
no, exactly.
Yeah.
I was looking up at your...
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I think he needs to come here.
Absolutely. Okay.
But
and
my friends... I think they're just kind of going along with it.
like whatever.
Yeah, okay, you have that. But a lot of people do you wear the mask?
Interesting,
and I immediately get to say, no, I don't. Like, you don't even know it. You won't even be able to tell that something's in my mouth.
Excellent. Okay. And then, So people think that you're supposed to be wearing that CPAP.
Yeah,
thing.
that's
Okay.
the first thing they say to me. Like, oh, so you wear the mask?
Right.
No.
Can you imagine? Okay, cool. Well, so this is really important. So I want people to know that there's an alternative, and that mask is not a good fit necessarily for the type of apnea that you have. So never mind that you wouldn't want to wear it. So.
I mean, yeah, I would wear it, I guess, but
Well,
I don't have to.
Okay, very cool. So we're just about done here, and I guess what are your thoughts on? Have you told some of your friends like, hey, you should get your vitamin D level checked? And what do they
all
say?
the time, actually. Not all the time. I'm not like one of those.
Sure, right.
But
you are. But you do.
No, like the receptionist at my work, she was complaining about sleep and like night sweats. Oh, that was another thing. I had night sweats galore.
Really? Okay.
And she was telling me like, well, you probably don't know this, but you should maybe try some vitamin B and D.
Right. Well, then people look at you like, what could you?
Yeah, no, she did not believe me.
Well, yeah, and no one really would. And truthfully, I kind of say this in my book is that if someone had come to me with this, I probably would have said, I'm good. Like, no thanks.
Yeah.
It's very unusual that something that's so simple is so profound.
Yeah.
So
I had to get to this low point to get to this point.
Right.
Like no one, like I feel like everyone waits until they can't function. Like I did.
Yeah.
To realize I really need help.
So do.
And then, but it's like if you just believe someone in the beginning.
Right. So prevention is always better than repair, basically.
Yeah.
I know, but I want you to understand that
Yeah.
there will be a lot of people watching this video, and if they're watching, is there any message that you want to tell them? You can look directly into the camera. This is like something to really reach out. What would you have to say to people? Some people who would have the same symptoms as you.
Yeah, don't go to a normal doctor. Like there probably is some natural cause that could be easily fixed with just vitamins, and it's changed my life. Like I don't have headaches ever anymore, which is I never thought that'd be a thing.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you, and we talked about this a lot, and I wish I would have interviewed you when you were at your worst, but it's okay. I think you did such a good job at explaining your symptoms, because literally there's millions of people around the world who are suffering the same symptoms, and every time that I hear about their story, it's the same thing. They go through the different steps. Just what happened to me, I went to a psychiatrist, I got medication, and no one ever tested my vitamin D. When I asked for a vitamin D test, my doctor was like, what do you want that for, so.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I really look forward to posting this. This is a transformation story.
Yeah.
So now this is Leah. She was formerly a miserable millennial, and now I think we can all agree she's pretty magnificent.
Ooh,
so welcome.
Thank you.
And I really look forward to sharing this with everyone so they can.
Me too.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Uh-huh.